Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Our topic today is wealth and Kali Yuga. First of all, we need to understand what the Shastra tells us. In the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami explains that this is not the time we're living in. This is not the time for extraordinary human achievement. We may think that, but Bhagavatam tells us this is the time for extraordinary human degradation. In other words, we don't really know what progress is. We think that progress is economic growth, increase of consumer goods, increase of luxuries, and that is real wealth. At the beginning of the 12th canto, Shukadeva Goswami explains, Tatascha anudinam dharmam, satyam socham shamadaya, kalena bolina rajan, nongshakyayor balam smriti. With each passing day of Kali Yuga, there's a decline in dharma, truthfulness, tolerance, mercy. Not only that, but also with each passing day, memory deteriorates, physical strength deteriorates, all happening by the pressure of time. Kalena Balina Rajan. Shukadeva Goswami is explaining this to Prithviraj, O king, O Raj, by the force of time. We may think that time is just something that happens on our watch, but time is bringing about the degradation day by day, increasingly in Kali Yuga. So you may ask, what's the relationship between Kali Yuga and the Krishna Bhaktas, the devotees? By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, amidst the deluge, the rainstorm of Kali Yuga, we're under an umbrella. The storm is there, but as long as we take shelter of Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, we are protected amidst the rainstorm. Just like I was meant to arrive here 15 or 20 minutes earlier, but on the highway there was flooding. So the cars all slowed down. So that is the effect, similar to what the age of Kali is doing in all aspects, on all fronts. Slowdown, degradation, impediment, and the crucial characteristics for real human progress. So those of you who have read the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam may recall the symptoms of Kali Yuga that Shukadeva Goswami can see looking into the future. He's Trikalagya. He has knowledge of the past, present, and the future. So Bhagavatam is predicting what is happening now. Our specific topic looks at the wealth aspect of Kali Yuga degradation. Now you might say, wealth? Everyone wants wealth. How could that be a symptom of degradation? Shukadeva Goswami says, Vritam eva kalonirnam janmacharya gunadaya. With each passing day of Kali Yuga, people more and more lose the understanding of what is real respectability, what is real refined behavior, what are good qualities. They lose vision of that, so much so that vritam eva kolonirnam. In human society, they think wealth, money, income is the sign of good qualities. Janma. If you have money, automatically you have an aristocratic birth. And your family is aristocratic. Why? Because of your bank balance. Achara. If you have money, you must be well behaved, no matter what you do. Because money is all that matters. Money is the measure. Gunadaya, and also good, sublime qualities, are all understood in terms of your finances. So you would think, well, what can you expect? In such a society, money is the measure of all things, so therefore why not judge people according to their money? But that produces such a distortion of human civilization, and it produces such envy and anger. No one is satisfied, whether they have the money or they don't have the money. They're not satisfied. What is the bhakti understanding of real wealth? This we need to always point out to ourselves. There is nothing wrong with wealth, but we need to understand what is real wealth. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are informed that there are 3 great riches in life. What do you think? Huge house, cash in the bank, investments, the 3 great riches in life? No. The 3 great riches in life, as Chaitanya Charitamrita informs us, are number 1, Krishna, number 2, Krishna's service, and number 3, love of Krishna. So that is the sign of a wealthy person. Those are the 3 signs of a wealthy person. So you can check your balance. How much Krishna do I have?
None.
How much service to Krishna do I have? How much love of Krishna do I have now, or I'm developing so I get it? People today do not know what real wealth is. And in the process of their ignorance as to what is real wealth, they are destroying themselves and destroying the Earth planet. Everything must have economic growth. Practically no one disagrees about that. Whether you are this political party or that political party, the economy must keep growing. More and more money solves more and more problems. Instead of more and more money creates more and more problems. So in Kali Yuga, this is the Vishuddha Sattva principle. The principle that is not questioned. It's beyond dissection, beyond analysis. It is just the ultimate standard. That everyone agrees there must be economic growth, ever increasing, ever increasing, ever increasing. Everyone agrees on that in Kali Yuga. No one is thinking spiritual growth is number 1. Mistakenly, everyone is thinking that without economic growth, ever increasing, we're doomed. So no matter what political bench you have, if you're rich, you think, yes, we need more economic growth. If you're poor, yes, we need more economic growth. If you're concerned about the inequality of distribution of wealth, you think, what will solve that? More money, more growth. More money, more, solves everything. Everyone agrees on that. No matter what your opinions are, your left wing, right wing, this, that, centrist, doesn't matter. Economic growth. Meanwhile, the economic growth is destroying people's minds and destroying the environment. And no one can stop because they have a false conception of what it means to be an advanced human being. And this is what Devamrita Swami is talking about. Vritam eva kalo nirnam janmacharya gunadaya. People mistakenly think that if you have money, you must have good qualities. You must be refined. You must be a lady or gentleman, cultured. Why? Look at your bank balance. And you never get enough. There's always this feeling that there's not enough for me. I have to get more. There's a fear. I don't have enough. One survey was taken in Silicon Valley. And in order to qualify for this survey, you had to have a house worth at least $2 million. You had to have $2 million cold cash in the bank, and you had to have investments worth $2 million. And so in each case, those persons who qualified for the sociological survey said, we don't have enough. We don't have enough. We're not rich. We need more. You don't understand how it is living these days. 2 million cold cash in the bank, investments worth 2 million, a house worth 2 million, that's nothing. That's nothing. Everything today is so precarious and insecure. We have to keep working. We have to get more money, more. And then one particular man, of course, working in Silicon Valley, he brought up the point, all right, I'm worth $20 million. But you see, my son, who's 8 years old, has playmates whose fathers are worth $100 million. How do you think my son feels? I've got to get more money for the sake of my son. I'm worth 10 million. My son's friends are worth 100. Their father is worth 100 million. I can't allow my son to be psychologically wounded in this way. I've got to get more money. So what's he doing? He's working 70 hours a week for the family, for his son, whom he never sees because he's in the office all day and night. So this is what the money focus does. So if you want to understand a prominent current in your life, like a river has currents, if you want to understand the flow in your life, the dynamics of your life, look at the money trail. Shukadeva Goswami is pointing this out. Vritam, wealth, eva, kalonyana. In Kali Yuga, wealth is particularly troublesome because people become mesmerized by it and think their life is successful just because they have money. So those who don't have money are envious. Oh, you've got money. I want to take it from you. Those who have money are fearful. No one should take my money. I've worked so hard for it. You don't have money because you didn't work hard. So everyone has some screwed up ideas because of money. And money affects relationships. So many family disputes between brothers, parents and children, all because of money. I was in Ukraine recently, and I reminded the devotees there of one true story told to me by a devotee. He was in his 30s, and he had inherited from his father, he had inherited an apartment, which in Ukraine is like you've inherited the world. You have your own apartment. But the mother was contesting this. The mother and father had been divorced, and so the father had left the son an apartment, and the mother wanted it for herself. The son wanted it to use as a Nam-hut center. But the mother was saying, no, I want the apartment. So there was a big legal battle between the mother and the son, all because of the apartment. Who's going to own it? Who's going to control it? And in Ukraine, justice means who pays the judge the most. So each side was bribing the judge. The judge is just taking all the money and seeing who's the highest bidder, and that determines the outcome of the case. So this went on and on. The legal battles, the bribes. And then one day the mother calls up the son and says, I've come to some realizations. We're wasting so much money fighting each other, and we're family. You're my son, and here we are battling in the court. Let's make peace. Come over to my house, and we'll start all over again in peace. Come, we'll have lunch, we'll discuss, we'll make amends, we'll reunite. I'll cook according to your Vedic standards. I won't use any onions. I'll even have a special copper Ayurvedic water pot to serve you water. So the son naturally thought, this is very nice, peace, and my mother is softening, and she's wanting to do everything plaka, Ayurvedic copper water pot. So he went for lunch, and he sat down for lunch, and his mother was there, his uncle was there, his mother's brother, and so eating and drinking and pouring water from the copper water pot. Next minute, he was collapsed on the floor. His head was spinning, his stomach was exploding. His mother and uncle had put poison in the food. His own mother. And as he's writhing on the floor, the mother and uncle are standing over him. Die! Now die! Die! And they're beating him while he's writhing on the floor and screaming at him, die! 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 Problem is, he didn't die. They took him to the hospital, and miraculously, he recovered after 7 days. So the mother went crazy, literally crazy. What do you expect? A mother trying to kill her own son just because of an apartment? So still the court cases were going on, even though the mother had lost her mind. And so the devotee asked me, should he continue the court case? Because court cases mean whoever pays the judge the most wins. I said, well, your motive is good. You want to use the apartment as a center for the Nam-hut meeting. So go on paying off the judge. And so he paid off the judge the most money, and he won the case. So that you might say, this is an extreme case, but I know so many cases where maybe the mother didn't try to kill the son, but there are arguments between brothers over business, especially, in India, the tradition is the father leaves the business to the oldest son, and he's supposed to take the help of the other brothers. But sometimes big disagreements, sometimes the disagreements have to go to court, all because of money. So let's recognize that money causes problems, but also money can be put to the best use. The best use is Krishna's service. And then you use the money to get the real wealth, which is Krishna, Krishna's service, and love of Krishna. then you're a truly wealthy person. And by serving Krishna, you develop refined qualities, sublime qualities. So follow the money trail, and you'll see so much of where your life is going. So many emotions are tied up with money, accumulating money and spending money. There's always, as we said, the fear. There's not enough, there's not enough. And that fear can motivate, can dominate your whole life. I have to get more. These are uncertain times we live in. You can never have enough money for security. More. Meanwhile, as Prahlad Maharaj says in the 7th canto Bhagavatam, we're so attentive that not one penny, one paisa is wasted. Yet, when it comes to our spiritual life, we're very careless and irresponsible. But when it comes to counting the money, very precise. When it comes to our spiritual life, maybe when you're in your 70s, then you pay more attention to your spiritual life. Often, I am told that Swamiji, bhakti is very good for when you are in your 70s. But when you are younger than 70, then it's the time for making money. And when you are 75, then Jai Shri Krishna. We don't know that we'll live till 75. And the wealth of bhakti is far beyond anything that the modes of material nature can give you. So it's not simply that there's a chance you won't live till 75, and you'll never get to that stage of immersion in devotional service. That's just one problem. The other problem is you've wasted 70, 75 years chasing material wealth. Time you could have spent developing your spiritual life. So Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam comments like that. You're so attentive that not one paisa is wasted. Meanwhile, you wasted your whole life. What about that? So yes, the quest for money affects our relationships. As you know, people form families, they marry, often just because of money. Among wealthy families in the USA, there's this saying when they are forming marriages in the, not as common now as it was in the previous century, the 20th century, but still, the notion is there. They say, marry the money, love comes later. Money is the everything. As Prahlad Maharaj says, money they think is sweeter than honey. When I was 5 years old, my mother taught me a mantra that I never had a chance to use. She said, son, always remember, romance without finance is a nuisance. Never had a chance to use the mantra. But these are the realities. Money affects relationships. But what about our relationship with Krishna? Everything belongs to Krishna. If we use everything in Krishna's service, there's a completely different dynamic than the selfish use of material wealth. The selfish use of material wealth always involves this feeling of scarcity. Not enough. It's not enough. I need more. I need more. How many of you, when you were young, played the game musical chairs? Raise your hand. So do you remember what happened when the music stopped and you didn't have a chair? Oh. Paranoia. What did you do? You tried to squeeze onto the chair of someone else, right? Because you didn't want to be caught without a chair. So the money game is like that. Chasing money is like that. What's going to happen to me if I don't have the money, more money, and someone else has it? So you're running a race. And what's the worst thing that can happen to you while you're running a race? Not that you lose, but that you stumble and fall and others trample on you. It's such a fear. This is all about the scarcity fear. Not enough money, not enough, not enough. You always justify that to others. You don't understand. We need more. We need more and more. So that's psychological problem number one. There's always this feeling of scarcity. You never feel that you have enough. And then number two, more is better. You know, in the Upanishads, there's this verse, Dwa Suparna Sayuja Sakaya. There are two birds on the tree. One is the eating bird, the other is the observing bird. The tree is the body, and the eating bird is the conditioned soul, and the observing bird is the super soul. So on the tree of the body, there are always Atma and Paramatma. So two birds on a tree. But in Kali Yuga, what are the birds on the tree that people are thinking? On the tree of our life are two birds, more and better. And they always stay together. If you have more, everything is better. But now even mundane behavioral scientists are recognizing that the birds more and better they're not on the same tree anymore. The bird known as better has flown off. So you're getting more, but your life is not better. There's so much psychological damage. Just like in the USA now, such a mental health epidemic amongst young people. So many problems of depression, anxiety disorder. The Surgeon General of the USA, he has announced that there's a massive epidemic of mental problems for young people today. Suicide rates are soaring. It's because no one knows what is real wealth. So in this way, if we understand what is the Mahadana, what is the greatest wealth, then our life can be on track. So as Chaitanya Charitamrita says, number one, Krishna. Number two, service to Krishna. Number three, love of Krishna. Those are the treasures of life. Otherwise, you're forced to waste your life pursuing economic growth, which is destroying you and destroying the planet. And no one knows how to stop that. Shukadeva Goswami explains the problem very nicely. People give false respect because of money. And those with the money, they're not happy. And those who don't have the money, they're not happy. So what to do? We need to instruct persons how to strive for the real goal in life. And yes, use your money for giving yourself a bhakti lifestyle. This is spiritual economics. Sometimes at business schools, I speak about this topic, spiritual economics. Because often persons ask me, well, I'm working, I'm doing business. How to connect that to my spiritual life? I explain to them, why are you going to work? Why are you having a business? And well, it's because of this reason, just that reason, another reason, they often have a hard time pinpointing the real reason why they're going to work in the morning every day, or why they're going to their business every day. I told them, it's to make money. Oh, they're hiding from this. Oh, because of my job, they say. Oh, because of my business. I said, no, you're going to work, going to business to make money. The fruits, as Bhagavad Gita says. So what are you doing with the fruits of your labor? Spiritual economics means going to work to give instead of going to work to get. Going to work to, you're making money to give yourself a bhakti lifestyle and give it to your family. Rather than I'm going to work to get more luxuries for me, more conveniences for me. That's a completely distorted motivation, which will cause you and the world so much trouble. But going to work to give yourself the bhakti lifestyle and give it to your family and as much of the world as your resources allow. If you're a billionaire, spend $1 billion on helping others to be Krishna conscious. Go to your business to give. First, you have to give to yourself. Have all the books, full set of Srimad Bhagavatam, full set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Help your local center to grow, your local Krishna conscious center to grow. So you give to yourself by giving the facilities to advance in spiritual life. Go to Mayapur, go to Vrindavan, and then, of course, there's your family. You want your family to become spiritual with genuine good qualities. So you create a spiritual atmosphere at home with the proceeds, with the profits, with the fruits of your working or your business. That is spiritual economics. Going to work to give instead of going to work to get for me, for me, for me. So just this understanding, this change of understanding will have such an extraordinary effect on people's lives. Because they are thinking, I have to work, I have a family, I have children to care for, teenagers that have to go to the university, have bills to pay. But the most important thing to give your family is spiritual culture. Spiritual culture means development of your spiritual qualities. Then you will not have what Yuga Swami is severely criticizing. Vrittameva kalonyanam janmacharya gunadaya. In which just because someone has money, they're considered to be full of good qualities, aristocratic, well-mannered, gentleman, lady. Why? Because I have money. Shukadeva Goswami predicts this in Srimad Bhagavatam. So you can understand so much about your life, your family, just by examining the money trail. Very simple test. Just like you look at the currents in a river, see which way they're flowing, where the river is heading to, where is it coming from. Similarly, you look at how the money is coming in, how it's going out. Practically speaking, this is the story of your life. So how to turn that river so it flows to Krishna. And that means real wealth, the Mahadana. We don't have a real human society today as long as money is the measure of everything. But that same money, when used for Krishna's service, can actually make people happy. It makes the person who earns the money to give to Krishna, makes that person happy, and makes other people happy who benefit from Krishna conscious projects, Krishna conscious books. I remember once Srila Prabhupada explaining how the Vaishnava is not averse to money, because often in India there was this misconception that a sadhu should never touch money. Although it's not these days. So many so-called gurus and others pretend to be bona fide and collect big funds, but there used to be this notion that a sadhu never touches money. And so the devotees showed Prabhupada one picture of a so-called sadhu, and someone was putting some money next to him, and he was so Prabhupada said, they should take a picture of us. We will. Why? Not for us, but we use the money for Krishna's service. We're not artificial in our renunciation. No, we want for Krishna. That is spiritual economics. And then you'll see how money can uplift when it's used for Krishna's service. So as Shukadeva Swami predicted, we live in a society that has money as the highest principle, and the fulfillment of lust that money can seem to provide. And meanwhile, people are destroying themselves and destroying their own planet, and they don't know what to do. No one wants to tame the growth monster, the economic growth monster. No one can even think of doing anything else besides there must be economic growth, there must be economic growth. Meanwhile, nature cannot provide all the resources for such a twisted mentality, and nature cannot provide facility for absorbing all the waste produced by such a consumptive monster. And human beings can't stop this. We offer the real solution. Develop your spiritual wealth, and then not only will your ecological footprint decrease, because instead of putting all the emphasis of your life on material wealth acquisition, instead the main emphasis of your life is on spiritual development. So automatically your impact on the environment will be reduced. And there's of course there's a bhakti mystery, that when there's the bhakti lifestyle among the people, because you're following Krishna's instructions, Krishna allows material nature to be more bounteous, more profuse, abundant in giving you resources. Just like in the first canto, it is stated about the reign of Maharaj Yudhisthira. Kamam Vavarsha Parjanya Sarva Kama Dugamahe. During the reign of Maharaj Yudhisthira, the earth gave all natural resources in abundance. And what did Queen Kunti say in the first canto when she was pleading with Krishna, please, please don't leave? She said, by your glance over material nature, all the rivers, all the land is producing so much. Just by your glance. So we are presenting a culture of reciprocation. This is what Bhagavad Gita is teaching you. The reciprocation between the living entities and the devatas, the reciprocation between the living entities and the Supreme Lord, a whole system of reciprocation. And what does Kali Yuga teach you? It's all about you. Believe in yourself and you can be successful. When all of nature is about interrelationship. And the peak of interrelationships is Krishna. the source of all interrelationships. So in this way, wealth in Kali Yuga can be a source of the greatest benefit, and wealth in Kali Yuga can be the source of madness, as you see what's going on today. So we want to demonstrate spiritual economics, going to work, going to business, in order to give yourself a bhakti lifestyle, give it to your family, and give it to as much of the world as your resources allow. Then you'll see human civilization finally become human. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have time for any questions?
Yes.
Yes. Any questions?
So Maharaj, is it the same, or is one better than the other, giving for Krishna or to Krishna for spiritual activities, or helping the needy or the poor or those in need?
Whether your income is rich or your income is poor, everyone is poor in spiritual knowledge and development. So if you want to solve the real poverty problem, first you deal with the poverty of spirit. And then you can also help with, as much as you can, with person's material poverty. But unless you solve the spiritual poverty, you're just trying to help someone's shadow. So yes, we can help the shadow, but the main emphasis is on helping the real person, the spirit soul. For example, there is enough food in this world to feed everyone easily. But because of greed, some people have too much food, like America, obesity problem. And some people in other parts of the world have too little food. But overall, there's enough food to feed everyone adequately. Just like if you grow grains to feed animals, to slaughter the animals, you're wasting so much. Why not give the grains directly to the human beings? These mad persons, these dummies can't figure that out. Oh, we have hunger problem, world hunger problem. What are you doing with all the food grains? You're feeding them to cows, you're feeding them to pigs, and slaughtering them so you can have the meat. But if you just give the grains directly to the human beings, there's no food problem. But because they're attached to meat eating, they don't care. They can't understand. World hunger problem, world hunger problem. Stop eating meat, stop eating food grains to animals and then gobbling up the animals. Just take the grains directly yourself. No, no, no. We must have meat. So this way you see the real problem is ignorance. So we are not against material welfare work. It's just that we recognize what is the highest priority and focus mainly on that. We focus on the spiritual poverty. And by solving the problem of spiritual poverty, then you can see how to properly solve the subordinate material problems. Once you deal with the person, then you deal with the shadow also. First things first. We distribute prasad, sanctified food, to nourish the spiritual development as well as the material hunger. The more prasad you can distribute, the better. And if the person knows that this food that they're giving me has been offered to Krishna, they're guaranteed a human form of life in their next birth. Sometimes devotees ask, if someone will take prasad, does that mean automatically they'll get a human birth in the next life? No. If they know that, they understand that this food has been offered to Krishna and they take it, then they get a human form. Otherwise, not knowing means somehow whatever species of life they're born into next, they'll take prasad again. Whatever species. Anything else? So I hope you'll remember, what are the 3 great riches in life? Who knows? Yes, this is what Mahaprabhu wants to give you. He wants to make you the most wealthy person. Wealth that can't be taxed, can't be stolen. So please remember the Mahadana. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
One more question. One more question.
Yes?
Hey, Devamrita, that was an amazing lecture. I was actually just wondering, is it a materialistic way of thinking if you wish to have a higher paying job or things like that? Even if you have in mind, I will give to Krishna, I will give back, is it still considered something that is materialistic when you wish for that?
No, if your motive is spiritual economics, then it's not materialistic. But don't forget to chant Hare Krishna. If you say, I can't chant Hare Krishna because I'm too busy making money in order to give to Krishna, something is distorted. That's why we need guidance. That's why our spiritual master will tell you, no, first, hearing and chanting about Krishna, that's the foundation of all your other activities. So chant Hare Krishna, and yes, if you have the talent of being a business lady, you want to be a rich lady? You have that, if that's your karma, then yes, give it all to Krishna. Okay?
Thank you.
So Maharaj, the wealth is not what brings you peace. Peace is within, it's internal. And you give the example of there's a storm, we have an umbrella with us as well. So
Give an example of what I
when there is a storm, everybody faces, but we have an umbrella of
Yes.
Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
So to be peaceful internally, satisfied, happy in all situations, is it just the chanting? Because
Is it just what?
chanting the Hare Krishna mantra? Or is it, how do I get that? I've been chanting for so many years, many of us have been, but that internal peace is not necessarily.
Chanting means, my dear Lord, please engage me in your service. So it's very wonderful that you're chanting Hare Krishna. Now look for the service opportunities. And how do you serve? Pranayar, Artayar, Jya, Vaja. Bhagavatam 10th canto says. You offer your whole life. Arta, you offer your wealth. Jya, intelligence by making plans how to serve Krishna. Vacha, by your words, glorify Krishna. When you chant, you're begging Krishna, please engage me in service. Chanting engages your tongue, and with that chanting, vibrated by the tongue, you're looking for opportunities to use all your senses, all your possessions, your very body itself in Krishna's service. So the more you engage your other senses in service, the better your chanting will be. And the better your chanting becomes, the more service opportunities you get. The more service opportunities you have, the more wealthy you are. So we want genuinely wealthy persons, not fake wealthy persons. We want you to have the Mahadana. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, follow-up question is that I'm chanting, but the dilemma is that Krishna is giving me too many services.
Then you're very fortunate, but you have to develop the intelligence how to swim in the flood waters of devotional service. The flood of love of Krishna means the flood of devotional service. So when you have so much service opportunities for Krishna, you've been blessed, but you have to develop the intelligence how to swim in the flood. But don't resent the flood. You're blessed. You've been chanting Hare Krishna. Oh, Krishna, engage me in your service. Then the flood comes. Learn how to swim. That's why we need guidance from our spiritual master, how to swim in the flood of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. In the business world, there's the saying that the best way to get things done is to ask a busy person. The person's busy because they know how to do many things. So you look for who's busy, and generally you offer them more. Can you do this also, too? Can you do this? So we need intelligence, how to swim in the flood, so that we never resent the flood. We want more service, but we need to know how to swim in the flood, how to take care of our health, take care of our families. Bhakti requires intelligence. And that's why we need the guidance of senior devotees, the guidance of our spiritual master, the guidance of the Shastra. Hare Krishna.
Okay, one more loud Hari Bol for Maharaj.
Hari Bol!